Thanks to the distinguished sponsor of the budget of the Department of Agriculture, the honorable gentleman from Tawi-Tawi. And my greetings also to the Department of Agriculture family, headed by Secretary Yap. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Madam Speaker, this representation represents an urban district, a very industrialized district. It's not an agricultural area. The Department of Agriculture is probably not in any manner present in our district, but we are concerned about food security, just like most densely populated urban centers in the country. I also happen to come from a province that is very agricultural, and this is Romblon. I go there, I go home, I have a home there, so I'm also concerned about agriculture. Madam Speaker, I would like to emphasize from the very outset that my interpellation is heavily assisted by our interaction with the Alternative Budget Initiative at the Social Watch Philippines under the leadership of Professor Briones, Leonor Briones. So I may now start by asking Madam Speaker, they appeared before the Mother Committee of the Committee on Appropriations last September 28. May we know, Madam Speaker, whether the Department of Agriculture has amended their forecasts, their production forecasts for the balance of the year as a result of the weather disturbances that until now we are experiencing.
Thank you, the gentleman from Paranaque. In regards to the concern of the good gentleman from Paranaque on the food security as to whether the targeted year will be attained, but considering that with the onset of climate change brought about by the recent typhoons, which is very devastating to the country and affects tremendously agricultural production, I think the target year unfortunately will not be attained. Enough to meet the basic need of rice by 2010 in the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, common effective preferential tariff.
So how much would rice production decline as a result of the weather disturbance?
Yes, Your Honor, the Department of Agriculture is estimating approximately 3% reduction in the production.
This is national, I presume, Madam Speaker, this is the sponsor.
Yes, Your Honor.
The rice situation in the country today is faced by the threat of liberalization. And in 2010, we expect the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement common economic preferential treatment. So we have to work very hard to make rice production or price competitive, very competitive, as soon as possible, even before the 2013 target. Otherwise, all our efforts are going to be undermined by the influx of imported rice from primarily Thailand and Vietnam. And may I show my figures here that prior to the rice crisis of 2008, our rice, Philippine rice, could hardly compete price-wise with the landed cost of imported rice from from Thailand and from Vietnam. Even with the 50% tariff, it can be shown from the figure here that in 2003, while our wholesale price was 18.30, rice from Vietnam was at about 11 and about 12 from Thailand already with the 50% tariff. In 2004, our Philippine rice was at 19, Vietnam 16, Thai 17. In 2005, it was about 20 against 18 for Vietnam and about 19 for Thailand. And this was reversed only in 2008 because of the rice crisis. May we know, Madam Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, how we intend to make our rice competitive? Of course, this is a very comprehensive answer that will be requiring a very comprehensive, question requiring a very comprehensive answer. But I just would like to ask, so that to abbreviate our proceedings here, do we expect to reach parity? And if yes, how soon? Against the Vietnam rice or Thai rice?
Well, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, we have to invest more on irrigation and distribute better quality to our farmers. The lack of competitiveness will translate, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, to lower welfare to poor households who allocate more on food. The sudden change also in our food prices brought about by the recent calamities would also have severe impact on poverty, increasing poverty head count by more than 1 million. Poor Filipinos bear our experience in 2007, March 2008 uptrend in prices of rice. Although production of palay, a politically sensitive crop, is up by 3.59% this year. It accounts for only 16% of GBA and will severely be affected by damages brought about by Typhoon Unoy and Dept. The Speaker.
Thank you. So, what time frame are we talking about? Is this something that we can achieve? Maybe not in